Hey, this is Thomas Cocker with the BCA, and today we're going to be talking about how to calibrate outside airflow stations on a rooftop unit. Now, this can be challenging just because you have no ductwork, and so there's no way to really traverse it. So a lot of people will just take a velgrid and read the intake here. And while that works, you can read the intake and get a velocity. It is not always the most accurate method. You can actually be way more accurate if you can do a traverse, right? But if you don't have ductwork, how do you do a traverse? So one way is you can close your return air damper and open up your outside air damper fully, right? And then you would back down your supply airflow to where you would equal your outside air for this unit. So typically your schedule will list your minimum outside air that's required for ASHRAE 62.1 for the building or the space that it's serving. And then, so you'll back down your supply airflow until you hit that. And once you get there, then you can just simply traverse your supply duct. And so just pick a spot where you get a nice straight run, traverse your supply, and then you'll use that to calibrate your outside air flow station. Now, there are situations where you get some leakage through the return air damper. So you can go to the beginning of your return, use some plastic and cover it up so that you get, no airflow through there. Just make sure when you're doing this that your airflow has already been backed down and your outside air damper is open. Now, if some of you are wondering what a velgrid is, it's this device on the left. There are certain situations where this device can be accurate, but in quite a few situations it is not. So even though the manufacturer will state that this device is accurate, plus or minus 2%, there's so many situations where that is not true. And so it's better to use a pitot tube, which is this device down here, or an airfoil, which is this device here. And obviously these are used in the ductwork. Now, again, the method that I've been talking about won't work in all situations. Sometimes you don't even have a return air damper, and there's no real way to reach the return air to where you can fully block it off. And so when you reach that situation, sure, your only option really is to do a velgrid reading at the inlet to the outside air, or potentially you could use an anemometer if you trust that device better. Some people use a hot wire. You can, whichever device you're comfortable with. But again, I always try and find ways to use the pitot tube because it is your most accurate method of reading airflow in the field. And so just, I was just trying to give you some ways to think outside the box and get your most accurate calibration of your outside air, because that affects your building pressurization. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos, please subscribe. And remember, when it comes to rooftop units, always, no, never, under any circumstances,